and veterans, as I mentioned. In addition to legal experience, which everybody has who runs for judge, because you have to be a lawyer to run for judge, I believe it's just as important, maybe even more, to have life experience as the county court judge. And that's because that's the courtroom, that's the part of the court where everyday people come to court. Generally, that's where they start out. And if you're going to have an issue, you're probably going to be in county court. And the judge that sits in county court needs to have a breadth of experience in life. I've been a daughter. I'm a mom of 3 grown children who were born and raised here in Hillsborough County, went to the Hillsborough County Public Schools, and then went on to become Seminoles and Gators. So it was always fun at football season in our house. So in any case, in addition to those particular roles, and as a small business owner, I've had some very happy times, of course, and some very sad times. Within my own family, I've dealt with the issues of alcoholism, drug abuse, mental health issues, and even suicide. And these are all issues that people bring to court with them every day. And I can understand those people and their problems that they bring to court, because I've lived those problems. And in my courtroom, I will apply the law to the facts in a given case, and I'll use my discretion, knowing what I know through my life experience, to reach the best decision for the people involved in the case every day. I also think that a county court judge and a circuit court judge needs to have involvement in their community service, and not just right before they run for office, but their whole life. And I was raised with community service, and in my adult life, my community services included working in the school system, working for the Epilepsy Foundation here in Hillsborough County, youth sports. I work with the Humane Society, and also with the SPCA over in Pinellas County. And I'm endorsed by the people. My endorsements that most people will be familiar with are most likely E.J. Salcines, who everybody knows probably in Hillsborough County. If they know anything about the legal system at all, he's the man. And Fentress Driscoll recently endorsed me, State Representative Fentress Driscoll, the Honorable Sean Shaw, as well as several others on the County Commission and City Council as well. So I don't have formal endorsements from these unions and things, but I can tell you that not all of the endorsements that we've heard about have had interviews and for them, and some of them were procured prior to the race. And so not everybody was given a fair shot at getting those endorsements. Not to be sour grapes, but just to put it out there for you. But I seek the endorsement of the people, and hopefully I will have your endorsement and your vote on August 18th or before. You can, again, just as you've heard earlier, you can give me a call at 813-789-7173. My email address is jacobsforjudge@gmail.com, and I have a website, which I'm sure you have on your paperwork, but I can give it to you as well. So feel free to reach out and ask me whatever you would like that I can answer within the bounds of the law. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy Jacobs. Okay, and we're going to move to Rick Silverman. And I neglected to say that if we get done with some time left over, we're going to give the candidates an opportunity for about a minute or two to state anything else that they might have left out to get you to vote for them. So Rick, I'm going to unmute you now.
Thank you very much for having me this evening. Answer to your question, let's talk a little bit about county court to start off with. You asked, what is county court? And Yanger actually went into it a bit. County court encompasses a lot of different things. Landlord-tenant litigation happens in county court. So evictions happen in county court. Small claims actions, which, as Bill points out, aren't going to be so small anymore, happen in county court. Anything that is right now less than 30,000 and less than 50,000. In addition, domestic violence matters, such as emergency injunction matters, are handled in county court, as well as domestic violence criminal charges are handled in county court. In addition to that, we have the criminal side. And the criminal side, or what we call are misdemeanors, which are cases that are punishable by less than a year or up to a year in county jail, and traffic matters. Traffic matters can range anywhere from DUI, leaving the scene of an accident, reckless driving, drag racing, all the way down to simple traffic tickets. Essentially, it is the people's court, because most people who come to county court really think they can handle it on their own, and they act what we call pro se. They act as their own attorney. There are people who hire lawyers, but a lot of people go on their own. Now, it's important to think about what why a person would want to go by themselves. Probably because they are overwhelmed by the cost of an attorney, or they don't think it's a very serious matter. I grew up in a blue-collar house, plumber. I'm originally from Long Island, New York. Don't hold it against me. I moved to Florida when I was 10, and I lived in Miami, where when shortly after we moved to Miami, my father left. And my mother, who was pretty much just a homemaker, found herself looking for AFTC, welfare, food stamps, Medicaid, the safety net. My mother didn't want to stay on the safety net for long, so she took advantage of the social safety net's job retraining. Did I freeze? Okay. Job retraining program. You guys still hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I'm back. She became a bill collector without up before, and then she ended up becoming the bookkeeper of that same company, and helped me go through school. And when I graduated, I was only the second lawyer in my entire family. The only other lawyer I had, Dave Onto, was the first woman district attorney in Detroit. So from that, I actually learned values of hard work, but not only hard work, but respect for individuals, regardless of what their class or their background, their ethnicity, their religious background is. And I've seen it every day. I worked for a general practice law firm when I first got out of law school, and I did all sorts of different cases in circuit and in county court. I represented people in federal court back in the day. It's not as often and not as much as, but I was down there. But what happened was, the firm, when I was a young lawyer, would send me to traffic court. My mom always told me, if you're going to go to traffic, if you're going to do something small, if you're going to be a ditch digger, be the best you can. I studied, and I learned a lot about traffic. And it's gotten to a point where it's become the basis of my practice. I practice 90% of the time, 95% of the time in county court. I'm a regular in traffic courtrooms. I've represented people on all sorts of traffic matters.
30 seconds.
The Florida Bar's Traffic Court Rules Committee chairman, and I've written rules of traffic court that have been approved by the Supreme Court of Florida. What I will tell you is that I have the experience, and I've been training for this job my entire career. And I'd like an opportunity to serve this community in a different way than I've been doing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I thought I saw Monique Scott come back on. I can't find her. But unfortunately, it's kind of hard when everything is muted. Oh, there she is. I found her. Hi, Monique.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. I'm sorry I missed the first part, I think.
Okay, well, I'll repeat what we would like for you to talk about, a little bit about yourself, why you are running in Group 7, and a little bit about the People's Court. In your own words, explain what is your expertise in the county court system.
Sure, okay. And I have 5 minutes, correct?
Right, 5 minutes.
All right, great. All right, well, hello, everyone. My name is Monique Scott. I'm running for Hillsborough County Court, Group 7. I am a first-generation American. My parents moved here from South America in the early 80s to get away from some of the violence that was going on in their home country. They came here, and I was raised in town and country, another part of Hillsborough County. I grew up in the town and country area, and at the age of 10, I was actually diagnosed with a disability, epilepsy. Wasn't really a big deal and never really affected me until I got my first career as a police officer with the Tampa Police Department. It was a wonderful experience, but that, as I said, was my first experience in dealing with my disability, which is epilepsy again. And I faced discrimination due to my disability, and it ultimately continued on into public education and became a public school teacher. I taught for 5 years, and I served through 8th grade. During that time teaching, it gave me the opportunity to see the frustrations and the difficulties that administrators and teachers and parents and students face, and the disconnect between the education system and the judicial system. From there, I actually started to go to law school while I was teaching full-time and going to law school part-time at Stetson. Got into Stetson, got a concentration in trial advocacy, graduated, and started working at the state attorney's office here in Hillsborough County. Now, that experience is very relevant as to why I'm running, because experience gave me the county experience, which I'm sure your voters are looking for. I spent every day for the past 6 years in a courtroom, whether it was county or whether it was circuit, prosecuting misdemeanor crimes all the way up to punishable by life felonies. I served in 6 different specialty prosecution units, have over 100 bench trials, over 60 first-year jury trials. So what that means to you as a voter is that you as a voter can have the confidence and faith in me as a candidate to walk into that courtroom from the very first day and know exactly how to run that courtroom efficiently, run it with civility, humanity, and know that I have the experience and the temperament that's required to serve on the bench. Let's see, I'm very involved within the community civically. I participate in volunteering with a couple of different organizations with my family, including Metropolitan Ministries, Humane Society. I'm on 4 different boards, the Tampa Hispanic Bar Association, the Hillsborough Association of Women Lawyers, the Sheriff's Hispanic Advisory Council, and the Epilepsy Service Foundation. Combined, I bring a very unique, like I said, a very unique perspective from the courtroom as a prosecutor, from the classrooms as a teacher, and from the street as a police officer, and most importantly, a person who is in touch with our community. I'm currently at a campaign event right now, which is why I'm sitting in my car, because I'm over here campaigning to USF students and Temple Terrace residents, because I think it's important to reach out to our citizens despite the pandemic and, you know, give them an opportunity to meet me and ask questions. Let's see, I think that the other question you had was why county? As far as county court goes, as I said, I spent every day for the past 6 years in either a county courtroom or a circuit courtroom. It is the people's court because you encounter people come from all walks of life into that courtroom, and that is my best opportunity to continue serving my community and making an impact and help the citizens of this wonderful county, Hillsborough County. Thank you guys for your time. If you have more questions, feel free to reach me at www.scottforjudge.com, which is the website, or my phone number is 813-758-4834. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Monique. Okay, we're going to move on to the Circuit Court, Group 9. Before I call on John, I wanted to explain that Kelly Ayers sent us an email earlier that she wasn't feeling well after working on an emergency family law court matter. And she went and got the COVID test, and she tested positive, and she's, I'll quote her, "I had strictly followed all COVID recommendations, and I was shocked to learn that I have COVID. My family, thankfully, has been tested negative. I am lucky to be stable, and while my symptoms are not mild, I have yet to experience severe symptoms." So she will not be here tonight. She probably, won't be out there for a couple of, but read her bio and, make an intelligent decision, and this one as well. So we're going to move to John Shafani. Shafani? Did I say that right? I unmuted you. Are you on, John?
I am, and it's Shafino. That was close.
Okay,
That's
well,
all
I
right.
bet I'm well known for messing up people's names,
All
so
good.
everybody here knows me. I want you to please tell us about yourself, why you are running in Group 9, what is Group 9, and what is the most significant contribution to the legal profession that you've offered?
Well, thank you so much. And Don, I want to first start with congratulating you. Your poise was nothing short of spectacular. You handled that better than I could ever imagine. So extremely well done. And thank you so much to the East Hillsborough Democratic Club for hosting this forum. It has been a strange campaign for all of us, to say the least, and we all appreciate this opportunity to talk with voters. And starting with a little bit about who I am and why I'm running for judge. I grew up in Hillsborough, Florida, with my parents and 4 siblings. We lived on a small orange grove, a great place for the 5 of us to be kids. And I'm married to my wife, Sarah. We have 2 children, Jack and Eleanor. And for me, my family is the center of my universe. I'm very fortunate to be close with my parents. They're 2 of the hardest working people I know, 2 of the most honorable people I know. And they come from very modest and humble backgrounds. They're the first their families to go to college. They had to work to put themselves through school. They had to apply for scholarships, and they did all of that. And they never took education for granted. And they taught me through their actions, through their words, to engage in everything I do, and in particular my profession, do it with integrity, humility, compassion, empathy, appreciation, hard work. I've tried to do that. And they also taught me through their actions and words that public service is important, so much so that it's become a part of my DNA and my siblings' DNA as well. And I've tried to model that behavior for my children, because I think it's that important. And so for the past 25 years, and that's my legal career, about 25 years now, I've had the good fortune to serve our community, my profession, through a number of wonderful organizations. I serve as the vice chair of the Florida Bar Standing Committee on Diversity and Inclusion, a wonderful committee. I served as president of the Hillsborough County Bar Association in 2018 through 2019. And I'm working with State Representative Fentress Driscoll and Councilman Louis Vieira now on a committee in conjunction with the Equal Justice Initiative to establish markers here in Hillsborough County for lynchings that occurred. And I believe working as a judge is a logical continuation of this desire to serve. And when operating properly, our bench is a sacred institution and provides critical public service. And I don't say that as hyperbole. I really believe it. It keeps in check the powers of government, rights and justices. It protects and safeguards the rights of individuals, no matter who they are, where they come from, how much money they make, who they worship. And to say it would be a privilege and humbling to be part of the bench it wouldn't be anything more honorable and what a privilege it would be. Professionally, I've practiced law now for 25 years. I have a general litigation and trial practice. And over the years, I've practiced in a variety of areas, including business litigation, family law, probate litigation, and even some criminal law. And this broad range of experience, I think, would benefit me if elected to the bench. There wouldn't be too many surprises. And I've also had the good fortune to take a lot of cases to trial, many of them involving complicated issues. And I've picked many juries in these trials. And through this trial practice, I've earned a reputation as a hardworking professional and a good lawyer. And I think this trial experience and my work ethic would translate well to the bench. And a number of things have come out of this practice, this trial practice, and the reputation I've earned in my community. In 2019, the 13th Judicial Circuit, and that's our circuit here in Hillsborough County, awarded me their Professionalism Award. In 2017, the Hillsborough Association for Women Lawyers presented me with its Professionalism Award. And I've also been listed in Best Lawyers of America, Florida Legal Elite, and Florida Super Lawyers, which, for reasons that escape me, listed me as one of the top 100 lawyers in the state of Florida and top 50 lawyers in the Tampa Bay region the past 2 years. And these are peer-review-based publications, and I don't say these things to boast, and I know awards and publications aren't the end-all, be-all, and far from it. But these are awards and rankings based on our peers, people who know us, who've been in the trenches with us. And I believe the citizens of Hillsborough County want a judge who's respected by their peers, respected in their community, and has the judicial, if I can say, judicial temperament to justly and fairly serve them. And also, I hope that the voters will consider endorsements in this race. We all agree with that. We're doing our best to get the message out, and it's important because individuals and persons have measured the candidates, and it's important that the voters consider this. And for me, these include Hillsborough
30
County Public
seconds.
Thank you, ma'am. Julianne Holt, State Senator Janet Cruz, former State Senator Arthenia Joyner, State Representative Fentress Driscoll, the last two chief judges in our circuit, Dennis Alvarez, Manny Menendez, plus the Hillsborough County firefighters, Tampa firefighters, and the AFL-CIO. So I've enjoyed my practice. This has been a challenge I've been wanting to do for a long time, and the time is right. And thank you so much for letting me talk with you and your consideration.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes,
I've been reading
ma'am.
the chat box, and I see even our chat box got hacked there. But candidates, please read the chat box. There are some questions, and if you could type in the answers, that would be awesome as well. We're going to move to Circuit Court Group 19. Ashley Avanoff is not on board. She did not RSVP, so we're going to go right into the Honorable Judge Shiftani. Did I ruin your name too? Let me unmute you. Michael, you were with us first thing tonight. You were one of our first. So now you finally get to speak. So for Group 19, Your Honor, I would like you to tell us a little bit about yourself. Why Group 19 and what is Group 19? And what is your vision for the future of our judicial system, and what changes would you advocate and why?
So much for the questions, and thank you as well. Like all of us, we greatly appreciate the East Hillsborough Democratic Club for hosting this event. To the listeners, ladies, gentlemen, I am Michael Shanti. I am honored to serve as one of your circuit court judges here in Hillsborough County, and I'm seeking re-election to Group 19. I'm a Tampa native. I'm a lifelong resident of Hillsborough County. I graduated from Plant High School and later from Florida State University. I went on to earn my Juris Doctor from South Texas College of Law. I have served our community and our country for 25 years, upholding the rule of law in and out of the courtroom, on and off the battlefield, and throughout all branches of government. I've held various positions of public trust as a lawyer, as a soldier, as a legislator, a diplomat, and as one of your judges. And I have a proven record in maintaining the fair and impartial administration of justice. I currently preside over both Juvenile Delinquency Court and Veterans Treatment Court, two of Hillsborough County's problem-solving courts that are having a positive impact on struggling veterans and children who are at risk. I'm also a Lieutenant Colonel in the United States Army Reserve, and I serve as a commander in the Judge Advocate General's Corps. I've served multiple tours of duty in both Iraq and Afghanistan over my 20 years of service in the military, and was awarded the Bronze Star Medal for my combat service. As a military magistrate, I presided over military commissioned war tribunals, and as a judge advocate, I have helped advance the rule of law and uphold human rights in countries abroad. As a soldier and combat veteran, I bring that military experience and service to the bench as I help veterans who are struggling with post-traumatic stress disorders, who self-medicate with substance and alcohol. And in doing so, I've helped develop our Veterans Treatment Court into a national model problem-solving court by maintaining best practices and maintaining a recidivism rate of under 10%. Our Veterans Treatment Court truly does serve as the nation's model. Our court was referenced in Congress as both chambers, the House and the Senate, passed the 2019 Veterans Treatment Court Unification Act, providing millions of dollars for mental health and substance abuse courts throughout the country that are focused on VTCs, or Veteran Treatment Courts. And they referenced our court. I'm very proud of that. I've been presiding over that court for 4 years. Before that, Judge Holder, and before it was Judge Weiss. And through the three of us, we've been able to shepherd that process to the point now where it's the national model. As a judge, you must know that I serve as an instrument of justice. I ensure that everybody is treated equally under the law. I have the ability to make a positive difference in the lives of people that are impacted by the legal system. And sometimes those differences can be life-saving. Mental health and substance use disorders are at the core of many of the cases that I encounter in both of those courts. So as a VTC and juvenile delinquency judge, I oversee the treatment of those children and of those veterans. To your question, I do believe that adequate access to mental health, in particular mental health services, is a problem. I intend to continue to bring light to that issue in both of my courts, and as long as I have the honor of serving as one of your judges, I will continue to highlight the need for our community to focus on treatment and recovery, not incarceration and punishment. That's what I do already as one of your circuit court judges.
30 seconds.
Overseeing those programs. With your support and with your vote, I hope to continue my judicial service, guaranteeing that fair and impartiality. I'm currently running for re-election, and I hope to, with your vote, continue serving with integrity and compassion and fairness. I think if you go to my website, you'll learn more about me at judgeshanti.com. I do have the pleasure of many endorsements, every endorsement that I've sought, and I'm honored to have those endorsements. So please.
I've been wanting to do that. Thank you.
Well, I gave you that opportunity. Fantastic. There you go.
And you even warned him before the meeting started. Thank you. Thank you, Michael Shanti. You got me tongue-tied here. You dinged the judge. Really. I don't see Danny Alvarez on there. If I'm mistaken, please let me know. So we're going to move to group 30. Helene Daniel is on board. Helene, again, please start with telling us about yourself, why group 19, and what is, I'm reading the other one, and as a prospective judge, what do you consider your greatest strengths and weaknesses?
Great. Well, Donna and everyone present tonight, thank you so much for setting up this forum. I am extremely appreciative, as are all the other candidates. We are hampered by COVID-19, and any opportunity that we have to talk to prospective voters is really a gift. So thank you to everyone. I am Helene Daniel. I'm running for Circuit Court Judge Group 30. This is, as you know, a nonpartisan Hillsborough County-wide seat. So if you live anywhere in Hillsborough, you can vote for me, and I hope you will. I have been an attorney for over 30 years. My husband and I have been long-term residents of Valrico since 1992. We have raised two amazing kids here. We've been in the same house for 27 years. Our kids went to all public schools and eventually graduated from Newsom High and went on to University of Florida. So if you're not Gator fans, please don't hold it against us. My husband and I were not lucky enough to go to University of Florida, but as the saying goes, our money went there. So My husband is also a local attorney, Bill Daniel, and we have been involved with family and community all the years that we've been here. The majority of my practice has been in circuit civil litigation. I have litigated many cases, taken many trials to verdict in both civil and criminal law. I have had jury trials, non-jury trials. I have argued hundreds of motions to judge and juries over the years. I've taken many depositions, handled many discovery motions and other evidentiary hearings. All of these things, I mention them because for those of you who are not lawyers or judges in our group tonight, need to know that these are the types of things that a circuit court judge will be hearing day in and day out. And so my personal philosophy is that I think it's important that we elect experienced trial attorneys to become what in essence will be the position of a trial judge. And our trial judges listen to all these types of cases, many of which are areas of the law that I have practiced in for over 30 years, such as general litigation, insurance coverage, personal injury, medical malpractice, nursing home, defense type work. I've handled commercial and construction litigation and a variety of other things that I believe sets me apart, not only from my opponent, but is also the kind of experience you as prospective voters need to look into, and that's what you want when you choose your next circuit court judge. So why is that important? Circuit court is actually the highest trial court in Hillsborough County, and circuit court judges hear really very important types of cases. And sometimes the decisions that circuit court judges make can be life-changing. So it's absolutely essential that your vote, particularly in this local election, looks to experience and, of course, judicial temperament. And let me speak a little bit about that. What is that? It's great having experience, of course. All of us are attorneys. We all meet the minimum standard of the Florida bar. And of course, we've all done community service, and we all share pretty much the same foundation. When you really start looking into the details, you want to look at the temperament of the person. And in having practiced for over 30 years, I can tell you the one thing that I have learned, mostly from my clients, and I've had the privilege of representing clients from all walks of life. I tell you that has been the best part of my practice. And every one of my clients have taught me that the practice of law is really about people. And that has made me and kept me humble, modest, and those are the things you want to look for in a judge. I have a sensitivity to people, particularly because of my background. I have empathy, and those are the qualities that you want to make sure your judges and elected officials will have that. I am also very proud of my AV preeminent rating by Martindale Hubbell. What that means is that my peers believe that I am a competent attorney and ethical. This is also a high benchmark. I've had the life and the legal experience to serve on the bench, and it would be really the culmination of all of my education and my experience to be able to bring all of that and serve the law and the community.
Thank you.
Thank you. Right on time.
Right on time, right on time. Okay. Oh, so nobody found Danny Alvarez in this whole thing, right? No? Okay, we're going to move to Circuit Court Group 31. And we're going to call on Gary Dalton. Gary, I would like you again to tell us about yourself, why you are running in Group 31, what is Group 31, and what qualities other than obvious fairness and empathy will you bring to the bench, and what will make you a good judge?
Well, thank you, Donna, and good evening, everyone. I'm Gary Dalton, running for Group 31, And there's no district area for the groups. They're all countywide. A lot of people have questions about that. We have 45 circuit court judges in Hillsborough County and 17 county court judges. So the numbers just designate the seat, and then everyone decides which seat they're going to run in. I have lived in Hillsborough County since I was 2 years old. I'm very proud of my parents, the late Dr. David Dalton, Tampa's first periodontist. My mother, Dr. Ann Dalton, taught American history at Plant High School, professor at the University of Tampa. She and my dad were active in the civil rights movement. My mother was in the teachers union. I learned my sense of social justice from my parents. I've been married to my wife, Wendy, for almost 30 years. She's trained as an RN, but works for Marriott. I've got 3 wonderful children. One of them sitting here next to me, 22-year-old twins, Corey and Mallory, and 16-year-old Ari. And why do I want to be a judge? Well, I became a lawyer to impact the lives of my clients. And I want to tell you about some of those stories. Maybe you've seen some of them on some commercials that have been running recently. I want to talk about my client, Tara, who is a young mother. Her 3- and 5-year-old daughter were kidnapped by her suicidal husband and taken out of state. I was the only lawyer that took her case, and we were able to get her girls back safely from out of state. And her husband came back, stalked her, stalked the kids, showed up at school, and Tara was a long-standing victim of domestic violence, and her husband's last act of domestic violence against her was when he killed himself on her birthday. But there's a happy ending here. I kept in touch with Tara over the years. She raised her girls as a single mom. She graduated with honors from the University of Florida. One of them is married, and Tara is a vice president at a Fortune 500 company. Talk about my neighbor, Michael, who was robbed at gunpoint 7 years ago, and I was able to come to his aid and help him and his family navigate the criminal justice system and get justice for them. I talk about my client, Tony, whose 5-year-old daughter was abducted and taken out of the country by his wife, and we were able to get her back. I talk about my clients, Mike Hoskinson and his wife, Mike, my doubles partner on the championship Plant tennis team and recently retired from Coleman Middle School. They were wrongfully arrested 2 years ago, and I was part of the legal team that helped prove they were 100% innocent, and I negotiated with the school board to get their job back with back pay. And so as a lawyer, you have the opportunity to occasionally impact clients. As a judge, you have the opportunity to impact the lives of citizens every day. And that's why I want to be a judge. Now, why should you vote for me for judge? Simply because I'm the most qualified candidate in my race. Objectively, I have the most experience. I've been practicing law for 30 years. I'm the only candidate in my race who's achieved board certification. And I just got a message asking me what board certification means. Board certification, I'm one of only 28 lawyers in Hillsborough County in family law. In order to become board certified, at the time I initially became board certified in 2000, you have to have a minimum number of trials, at least 10. You have to prepare 25 more cases for trial. You go through a substantial peer review where your colleagues who you've tried cases against and the judges who you've tried cases in front of confidentially evaluate you, and they test you for professionalism and excellence. And then you have to pass an all-day written exam. I thought the last one was in law school, but I was one of 6 lawyers in the state of Florida that passed. I'm the only candidate who served the state both as a prosecutor and a public defender, the only candidate who's designated as a super lawyer, top 5% of lawyers in the state, the only candidate who's had his own law practice for 27 years, more than my opponents have been practicing. I'm proud. I got my first taste of public service interning for the late Senator Lawton Childs, and I've always wanted to serve the public. I think I've got 20 seconds left about, and so I've been recommended and endorsed by many people in our community like Betty Castor, Alex Sink, Mariella Smith, Jim Davis. I'm very proud of that. And we have an important election, and I ask for your vote on August 18th. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gary. So we're going to move on to the next candidate, who is Greg Green. Do you need me to repeat the questions?
No, I don't believe so.
Okay.
And thank you for doing this. Thank you so much. Great to see you. Gary was right. There's no districts. When you live in Hillsborough County, you vote for everyone in a specific group. It's just a way to designate who is in the race. I've actually been in this race for over a year. I knew that Judge Stevens, who currently holds this seat, is retiring. So I've been in this race for a very long time. A little bit about me. I'm actually a 7th generation Hillsborough County native. Been here a very long time, lived all over the city. Married to my wonderful wife, Shantanice. We have 2 little girls that are actually running around. Hopefully you won't hear them, a 5 and a 3-year-old, Skylar and Sage. Went to Chamberlain High School and then USF for undergrad, Florida State for law. I know I saw some Gators doing the chop. Don't worry, I married a Gator, so I've got that covered too. I have a very diverse legal practice. I'm very proud of that. I was a prosecutor here locally. I started my legal career in 1999, so I've been practicing over 2 decades. And then I did criminal defense work. Actually, a part of my practice is still dedicated to criminal defense work. And I have been practicing mainly in the area of marital and family law for the last 13 years, owning my own practice for 5 years of that. I have a very robust practice. I am a trial lawyer. I am in court pretty much most days, certainly all weeks. Have 80 active cases, and very proud of what I've accomplished with regards to my trial work. I believe that judges are the ultimate public servants, and you need to have a dedicated history and record of serving this community if you're going to try and serve the community in a way where you have the ability to take away life, liberty, and property. I'm an attorney ad litem, and what that is when a juvenile is charged with a crime and they do not have a parent appear in court with them, I am one of the lawyers who is called to assist that juvenile navigate the system, not just from a legal standpoint, but really from a worldly standpoint. I'm a big brother in the Big Brothers Big Sisters program. I've been doing that for well over a decade. I'm a marriage counselor at my church, The Crossing. And one of the most fun things I get to do in the community is I'm actually an assistant high school girls flag football coach at Robinson High School for the 5-time state champion girls flag football program there. I think you should vote for me, plain and simple, because of temperament. I will disagree. I don't think experience and how long you practice is everything. I think the appropriate temperament is what matters. And temperament encompasses a lot of things. It does encompass experience. I've been practicing for 2 decades. But it also encompasses being tactful, using common sense, being firm when appropriate, being empathetic, being compassionate. And I'm now going to talk about some of my endorsements, because what all of the people and organizations who have said that have endorsed my campaign is there's a clear person with the appropriate temperament in this race. I've been endorsed by over 150 lawyers. 50 of those lawyers practice mainly in the area of marital and family law. 4 retired judges, including the last 2 chief judges of our county, Judge Alvarez and Judge Menendez. I've been unanimously endorsed by the West Central Florida AFL-CIO, Hillsborough Fire, Tampa Fire, and most recently, and I am very proud of this considering the work I do at Robinson, the Hillsborough Classroom Teachers Association has endorsed my campaign. Been endorsed by the La Gazette newspaper, and again, their endorsement talked about personality and temperament. Elected officials, I've been endorsed by your current public defender, Julie Holt, and the former state attorney, Mark Ober, showing that, again, I can be fair and impartial on both sides. Currently, I'm also endorsed by State Representative Diane Hart and Fentress Driscoll, 4 members of the City Council, as well as 2 members of the school board. Very proud of all this because, again, I think what it shows is I have the trust of the legal community, where I've been serving for 21 years. I'm active in this community outside of the legal community. I'm making a difference in children's lives, and I'm very proud of that. And what I'm going to tell you is some of my best success stories have actually been people that I coached that came to work for me. I had a paralegal that has gone on to the United States Attorney's Office, and she got a job with me because she was one of my first players. So you can learn more about me at greggreenforjudge.com, and that 4 is spelled out. Again, that's greggreenforjudge.com. And I look forward to answering any of your questions. You can always call me. My cell phone is always available, 813-495-8981. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Greg. Okay. So it looks like we are going to be able to go through the judicial candidates one last time after we finish with group 39. So think about very quickly 2 minutes to say one last thing to convince us that you are the person to be on the stand judging our peers and our loved ones. So we're going to go on to group 39. And group 39 also has an incumbent judge. So the question is for Scott Stevens, and I did unmute you, correct, Scott?
I'm here.
Okay, good, good. Please tell us again about yourself and why you're running in group 39. And this is the one that I changed, so I have to switch papers here. Do you feel that our judicial system adequately deters and penalizes frivolous litigation? If not, what reforms would you like to see? Oh, and by the way, I own an auto glass company, just saying. So I know about these frivolous litigations. So.
Sure. Well, let me take that up last. I guess most people don't know me, and that's kind of a good thing because I've been on the circuit bench here for, come November, it'll be 15 years. And I've been working really hard and keeping my head down and not trying to make any splashy stuff for myself because I have an important job to do and I love the job I do. And I really feel like I've reached right now where I am. I'm in the complex business litigation division, and I think I've reached my the best level professionally that I can be at. I'm in the best part of my professional career, and that's why I want to stay here because I was born in D.C., lived there until I finished college and law school. Came to Tampa, got married, and came to Tampa in 1987. Had a couple kids. Started off working for an insurance defense firm, did that for, 6 or 7 years. I practiced law in Maryland for a couple of years before moving here. And then I had a chance to, I wanted to be a teacher. I taught at Stetson Law School way back before any of these more junior candidates were even in law school. I remember taking my daughter, who's now 28, when she was a baby, to one of the final exams when I was teaching there. So it had to be the early 90s, 93, I guess, 94. And, I really loved teaching. And so I wanted to do that. But everybody who's a lawyer wants to be a teacher or a judge. Most people who are a lawyer want to do something, want to move on and do something different and better. So I went to school at USF to try to get a doctorate degree in business so I could have better credentials to teach. And that's what I did. I was teaching. I started teaching at USF in Sarasota. Then I was teaching at UT right across the river from my house. And it was wonderful. But then I got called back into public service. I was made the deputy chief judge of workers' compensation cases for the state of Florida. Did that for 4 years. When that term was getting ready to expire, the governor appointed me to the job that I have now in Group 39, which I've held for the last 15 years. And I'm not sure anybody's made clear what the groups mean. It's because they're not groups. Whoever had to come up with the name for our organizational structure did a really bad job. There's only one judge in each group. The group is just the name for the spot that each judge holds, and I think there's 40 of them. So that's who I am, and I went to business school, got back into the legal world, and I spent the first 5 years as a judge in family law. And it's not what I wanted, but I was ready to pay my dues. So I went ahead and I became administrative judge right away. We put together a special program for people who didn't have lawyers to streamline their cases. And I even got to come out to the old Plant City Courthouse 2 days a month to be able to, so that people wouldn't have to come all the way to Tampa to get their divorces done. And I did over 8,000 divorces. I did 200 divorcios en español. I did any number of other kinds of family law cases. And after 5 years, they figured I'd done enough there. While I was there, I'm going to show you this book, but it's going to look transparent because I'm using a green screen. So if I hold my book up here, it actually looks like a book. Sometimes it looks transparent. I don't know. Anyway, I wrote a book because there wasn't a book for people who were new to family law to be able to get up to speed in family law right away. And so that book's now in its 11th edition. I went into felony law, and two big differences in felony than family. one is mental disorders, and felony has a good program for dealing with mental disorders. Family doesn't. And the other one is jury trials. In felony, you do a lot of jury trials. So I did over 130 jury trials during the 3 years in the felony division. And I was transferred again to general civil, did some jury trials there and lots of bench trials. And now I'm in the complex business litigation division, where I handle class actions and non-compete agreements, corporate disputes, and things like that. And of course, the background I have comes in handy. So during all that time, I've tried to help to improve the quality of the judicial system for everybody by participating in the adoption of the technology that we've adopted lately. And as you may know, in 2014, the judicial system decided, the Supreme Court decided all at once, Florida is going to go all electronic. We're going to have electronic filing, electronic documents, no paper files. And I was one of the people who helped to make that happen. I was trusted by the Justice Quince. Justice Perriente appointed me to another position. Chief Justice Kennedy has appointed me to 2 different positions. Chief Justice Polston appointed me to different positions. And so, judges are different than the people who want to be judges, because we can't go out and ask people for endorsements. We can't ask people for money. We have to maintain the dignity that comes with the office. So if you want to look at the quality of the person that you have, think about who it is that's trusting them to do what. Most recently, I was asked by Chief Justice Kennedy to chair the committee that would study the use of remote appearance technology. And I was supposed to give my grand presentation on the 20th of March. And we all know what happened on the 15th of March. The courts decided that everybody has to go to remote appearance technology. I might add that this right here, what you're seeing right here, this is the courtroom now. This is a corner of my house, and that's not a wall behind me with diplomas. That's a green screen. It's just a hanging green cloth. And I think I can even show it to you. It looks just like that. So of course I keep the green screen up here instead. But I've done now over 100 trials by Zoom from this spot. Not trials, did I say trials? That's a mistake. Not trials, hearings. I've done evidentiary hearings and just a lot of different things. And we've done many of them right here. Am I done? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't hear the bell.
That's okay.
That's okay.
Thank you so much, Scott. And the other candidate for Group 39 will be Wendy Depaul. So take it away, Wendy. Do you need the question again?
No, I think it had to do with frivolous lawsuits. I think.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Wendy Depaul, and I'm trying to put this on speaker view so I can see what's going on. So my name is Wendy Depaul. Thank you so much for being here and sticking it out, because I'm dead last. I think it's so important for voters to be informed about who the judicial candidates are, because it's great to go in and everyone's interested in who's running for president, but they're not going to affect your everyday life the way that a judge could possibly one day. So I think it's so important to be informed. So just a little bit about myself. I grew up in Jacksonville. I'm not a native of Tampa. I went to Florida State University for undergrad. I started as a music major and ended up in accounting. I went to Stetson College of Law after that, and I passed the bar exam in 1997, so 23 years of practice. I'm also a CPA. I've been a CPA for 25 years. I'm very involved in the community, and I think that's an important quality for a judge, because the law doesn't exist in a vacuum. So I am very involved in my community. I do work with the Board of County Commissioners. I was appointed a child care licensing hearing officer, where I basically am running quasi-trials for people who are trying to determine whether or not, if they're trying to appeal a denial of a license, or they're trying to get their license back. So I do that. I'm the chair for the second time now of the Animal Advisory Committee. I'm very involved in animal rescue, have been for several years. I'm also a member of the Tampa Bay Bankruptcy Bar, because I also practice, aside from family law, I practice foreclosure defense and bankruptcy. I am a member, and I also help them form their forms clinic, where people can come in and get help filling out their forms if they can't afford an attorney or if they just have questions. I'm also on the board of directors of Bay Area Legal Services, and I'm a longtime volunteer there. That's a nonprofit law firm that represents people who can't afford representation otherwise. And I've been a longtime volunteer there. Family forms, domestic violence injunctions, intake, you name it. I've done pretty much every program they have at this point. I do want to point out that, it's very easy for me to talk to you all about my background. But if you'd like to see my background, you can look at my website. It's www.wendydepaulforjudge.com. And that's the number 4, or you can spell out the word 4. Either way, you're going to get there. But what I'm really excited about in running for judge is what's coming in the future. I can sit here and tell you all day about stuff I've already done, but I'm really excited about what we can do with the judicial system. I'm a big proponent of pro bono, which is where attorneys give their time for free to help people with their cases or represent them. I'm a big proponent of that. I plan to definitely push that because that's a pet cause of mine. I think it's important that people are informed. Some people who can't afford an attorney, they should at least know where they can go to get help. I plan to make sure that information is available to them. The other thing too is I think that a really important part of a judge is another thing we all have in common is we all have experience. We've all practiced law. We've all been in the courtroom. We've all done trials. We've all done motions. But there are certain things that you can't learn. And one of them is kindness, and one of them is temperament. And I believe I have those qualities. I have a big heart, and I care about my community. And that's not something that you can just dream up. That's something you got to have inside. And I do have that. And I think that's really important because people come into the courtroom and they're afraid, whether they have an attorney or not. A lot of them don't know what's going on, and they're afraid to talk because they don't want to say the wrong thing, or they just feel very uncomfortable speaking at all in a large setting, a large group setting. So, it's important to have a judge that's going to be empathetic and have a good temperament so that people feel more comfortable and they will take their time to say what they have to say. And everyone does feel like when they're done, they did have their day in court. They were heard, they were treated with respect, and they got a fair and honest result. Frivolous lawsuits. I of the opinion that with frivolous lawsuits, unfortunately, there's always an attorney out there that might take a case, and what seems frivolous to one might not be to someone else. So I think that's kind of difficult. But I think as a judge, if you see a frivolous case, you have to try and do something about it if you can. But usually that's the other attorney's responsibility, I would say. As an attorney right now, if I saw a frivolous case, I'd file a motion to dismiss or file some kind of motion. But that's me as an attorney in practice. As a judge, it's a whole different thing. But I do think that's a big issue, but not as big as some of the others right now, such as judicial bias and things along those lines. But anyway, it's Wendy Depaul, and I'm running for Group 39, and my website is www.wendydepaulforjudge.com. And thank you so much for my time.
Thank you.
Thank you. So we do have about 10 minutes left. Am I right, Bettina?
Yes.
Okay. So what I would like to do is, as I call your name, I've unmuted everyone. The candidates, that is. Give 1 minute. You have 1 minute to convince us that we should vote for you as the judge. I'm going to start with Bill Yanger.
Thank you again. I appreciate it, and thank you for all of you tuning in tonight and putting up with the nonsense that occurred at the beginning. I want all of you. You're all engaged voters. Obviously, we're here on a Tuesday night at 7:30 or whatever time it may be, listening to a bunch of people that want to run for judge. That is an engaged voter. That is a voter that wants to know when they circle the item on their ballot that they know who they're voting for. I urge you to research our race. See who is filing cases, defending cases currently, who is an actively practicing lawyer now every single day, and keeping up with what they need to do to be in the courtroom, to be effective in the courtroom, and to continue to practice their skills and practice their profession. I look forward to meeting each of you if we possibly can do that before the election. I doubt it. If not, call me, 813-601-9500. I look forward to receiving your vote. Bill Yanger on August 18th or before. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill, and thank you for being here. Nancy Jacobs, 1 minute.
Okay, thank you. I'm hoping to get your vote on August 18th or before because I'm the most experienced candidate in this race, we're all with legal experience, life experience, and community service, in addition to judicial temperament, patience, and common sense. And I hope you will look at my website at www.nancyjacobsforjudge.com or call me at 813-789-7173. My email address is jacobs4judge@gmail.com. And yes, do your research, and hopefully you will finish that research and you will make what I believe to be the correct decision and vote for me for Hillsborough County Court Judge Group 7. Thanks.
Thank you, and thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Rick Silverman.
Thank you, Donna. Thank you all for having us tonight. What I didn't get a chance to say is that 25 years ago, my wife and I moved to this county and simply fell in love with it. I built a practice here, and I've been practicing in county court my entire career, but especially here in Hillsborough County. And I've seen what people of this county want from a county court judge: somebody who treats them with dignity and respect, somebody who listens to their facts, and somebody who not only will rule according to the law, but explain why they ruled according to the law, so everybody understands the experience well. I feel this is what I can do. I've been working and basically training for this job my entire life, and I'd like you to give me an opportunity. Please vote for me on August 18th. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. John Shafino.
Hey, Donna, thank you so much. One of the things I'd like to leave you folks with, it's easy for lawyers to sit and say, this is what I am and this is what I do. But I hope the voters will look past and look at actually what the lawyers have done over their careers. And one of the proudest things I've done is I've worked with the Florida Bar's Standing Committee on Diversity and Inclusion. And I'm a vice chair of that committee. It's a significant committee in the bar. And I vice chair the grant committee. And over the past 5 years, we have funded voluntary bar association programs that have furthered diversity and inclusion in the bar. And this hopefully has improved issues of racial diversity, gender diversity, physical diversity, religious diversity, LGBTQ diversity in the bar. It has been very impactful work. It's been very important work, and I'm proud of that work. So I hope the voters will consider that, consider my track record when making their decision. John Shafino, Group 9. Thank you so much again, Donna.
Thank you for being here.
Yes, ma'am.
Mike Shanti, our early bird.
Again, it's an honor to serve as one of your circuit court judges. Over the course of my 25 years of public service as a lawyer and as a judge, I've gained extensive knowledge and experience in the practice of law and the administration of justice, and I've been a good steward of the legal profession. And I think that's important for our community. The extent and nature of my experience, it's brought balance and clarity of thought to my decision making as I carry out those responsibilities. I perform my duties and responsibilities with the highest level of integrity. I demonstrate a strong understanding of the law and apply a fair-minded, common sense approach to my decision making. And it's that depth and breadth of legal and judicial experience, both at the state and federal level, and as one of your trial judges, that best distinguishes my candidacy for re-election in Group 19. I do believe I currently represent our local judiciary with the highest standards of personal and professional conduct, and that's very important for me as a soldier, as a leader, in and out of the courtroom, and as one of your circuit court judges. And I just kindly ask that you give me the honor to continue serving our community and you as one of your circuit court judges. Michael Shanti, Group 19. And thank you, Donna.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Helene Daniel, 1 minute, convince me.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Donna. As a trial attorney, I have been a strong advocate for my clients. That was my job, and I think I've done it very well. I have, as a large part of my community service, represented people pro bono for free in and out of the courtroom because that's the right thing to do. And that says volumes for those of us who have done this day in, day out on a regular basis, because it speaks of integrity and the value that we bring to our community by helping people who need access to courts but cannot afford it. as a mediator. I've been a mediator for over 18 years, and I have helped many parties resolve their disputes and spare them from long and protracted litigation. And so with my life experience, my legal experience, and the compassion that I feel for people and my integrity, I believe as a judge that I will be able to serve effectively and without bias on the bench. And thank you again for everything today.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. Gary Dolgen.
Thank you, Donna. As a board certified lawyer, I'm tested for professionalism, expertise, and temperament. I'm very proud to be endorsed by the chair of our county commission, Les Miller, and the chair of our city council, Guido Maniscalco. Very proud that Les Miller says Gary has dedicated his career to ensuring justice, fairness, and equality in our legal system. He's the judge that our community needs. I'm proud of Guido Maniscalco, who talks about my service to the community as well. As a judge, my pledge to you is to serve with integrity, compassion, and empathy. Thank you for taking the time to listen to me tonight.
Thank you for being here. And we will then go to Greg Green. 1 minute.
Thank you. Well, my last name is Green and I'm wearing a green tie. I coordinated that. Isn't that a good enough reason to vote for me? In all seriousness, I care about this community. I've been serving this community for over 2 decades in both a legal capacity and with pro bono work and with community service work. You heard me talk about temperament. You heard me list those endorsements. I'm not going to do that again, but I am going to point out one of the things that is really kind of an issue right now globally, especially within our country, is ensuring that everyone who comes before a judge is treated fairly, regardless of race, regardless of religion, and regardless of politics. A lot of you know about the makeup of my family, and I can pledge to you and be unwavering about this, that everyone who comes before me will be treated fairly, and their case will be adjudicated based on the law and nothing else. And I think that's why I have so many endorsements regarding my temperament. Please learn more about me at greggreenforjudge.com. Thank you.
Okay. And Scott Stevens. Your Honorable Scott Stevens.
Well, thank you. It's my turn. I took a pretty big risk when I was told about the March for Equal Justice. The the Hillsborough County Bar Association put it together and sponsored it. And they said, you know, it's not going to be a political thing. We've designed it so that it'll be okay for you to participate. Because you know the judges aren't allowed to be involved in partisan politics. And this is one of the hot button issues of all partisan politics. But I went on the march. I got my picture taken on the march. I'm proud of it. And I did it because it's about time for us to stand up for what's right, even if it's at some risk to ourselves. So thanks for listening to me. Thanks for having me here. You can find out more about me if you want, judgestevens.org or judgestevens.com. They both work, Stevens with a PH. Thanks so much for listening to me. Have a great night.
No, thank you for being here, taking the time out. Wendy Depaul.
She's muted.
Is she muted? Oh, let me unmute. I'm sorry. I thought I did.
That's okay. I think I'm here now.
There you are.
Thank you. Again, thank you so much for having me tonight. I was so excited about talking to you that I didn't even remember to talk about my endorsements. I did receive a couple of endorsements. I got the West Central Florida AFL-CIO by unanimous decision over my opponent. I also received the endorsement of the local ironworkers union, the local plumbers and pipe fitters union. I received the endorsement of Julie Holt, our public defender, and I also received the endorsement of La Gazzetta newspaper. So I have some community support out there, and I just want to come back to the same thing that I said before, is that, you know, I am not looking for a job. I'm not. I have a job. I've had my law firm since 2004. I'm the managing partner. I'm not looking for a job. If you're going to be a judge, it's going to be a calling. It's going to be something that you do because you love your community and you want to do right by other people. I am obviously, if you look at my record, I'm very involved with my community. I love helping other people. It gives me a warm feeling inside. I love that. And I think we are a village. We all need to be involved with each other and help each other out. And I think that I have a proven record of supporting my community, and now my community is coming back to support me with the endorsements. The most important things I think that we have for a judge, again, is temperament, kindness, and integrity. And I think I can bring all three of those to the bench. Again, my name's Wendy Depaul, Group 39. My website is wendydepaulforjudge.com. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, all potential candidates for judge. I really appreciate you being here and helping us to better educate ourselves on who would make the best judge and to make the best choices on our behalf. That concludes our forum. And keep in mind that there are questions on the chat. If you can answer any of those questions, I'll keep it up for a few more minutes. But before I hang up here and we move on, I want to make sure I neglected this because the beginning of this was so messed up with all the people and dancing and the lewd behavior and everything. But I wanted to thank my board of directors for putting this on. They worked hard, changing my ideas and telling me, the right way to go. And y'all did a great job, especially Liz Congaro, who put this together. She's the one that contacted each and every one of you and stayed on top of you until you showed up. So, and I want to thank her because she's a great person. All of the judges are, their bios are on our, Christopher, help me out. It's on our website or where?
No, I just put it in the chat room. I can put it on the website. I'll do that.
Yeah, do that for, so that the others can see the bios and, so that they can read them as well. And with that, unless the board has anything else that they want to add, I haven't unmuted you, but, I want to thank you all for being here and good luck. I think I've made my decisions. Hard ones.
Very much for
Thank
coming.
you, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye now.